going to be carrying on solving quadratic equations in this video. My question here says solve to 2 decimal places, and the first one is 5x squared plus 12x plus 3. Now the questions we've looked at before, it hasn't said solve to 2 decimal places. And so because it says solve to 2dp, it will mean that we need to have a decimal answer. Now these equations here, they don't factorize, okay? And when you have equations that don't factorize, you can use a formula. And this formula works for any quadratic equation. And it looks like this. The x, solving, x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times ac over 2a. Now a, b and c here, a is the number before the x squared, b is the number for the x, and c is the number that's on the end. So if you're to use this equation, you need to first of all work out what a, b and c are, and then secondly, you need to use this formula to work out what x is. Now you can see this plus and minus right here. We're going to get 2 solutions to these quadratic equations. One of them we're going to get by doing minus b plus the square root of all this divided by 2a, and one of them we'll be getting by doing a minus b minus the square root of this over 2a. You'll have noticed from factorising in previous videos that we found 2 answers to almost all quadratic equations. So let's have a go. First of all, 5x squared plus 12x plus 3. Well, a is the number before the x squared. So a in this situation is 5, b in this situation is 12, and my c is going to be the number on the end, so c is going to be equal to 3. Let's use my equation now. Let's have a go. X is equal to minus 12, because it's minus b, plus or minus the square root of b squared, well that's 12 squared, which is 144, minus 4, lots of a times c, so that's 5 times 3, 5 times 3. And we're dividing the whole thing by 2a, which is 10. So let's try and simplify this. I have minus 12, plus or minus, I've got 144 here, and I'm minusing all of this. So 4 times 5 is 20, times 3 is 60. I'm doing 144, take away 60, which actually turns out to be the square root of 84 over 10. Now remember I said we have 2 solutions, one by using the plus and one by using the minus. Let's work out those now using the calculator. My first solution is minus 12 plus the square root of 84, and then I'm going to be dividing by 10. So my first solution is going to be x is equal to minus 0.28 to 2 decimal places. And my second solution, I'm going to be using the minus. So I'm going to be doing minus 12 minus the square root of 84. And then I'm dividing the whole thing by 10. And that gives me x is equal to minus 2.12. And I've rounded that to 2 decimal places. There's my solution for section, the first question there. For the second one, I've got a different quadratic equation. Again, I'm going to do the same method. I have a is equal to 2, because a is the number before the x squared here. My b here is not equal to 3, it's equal to minus 3. Okay, and my c is equal to minus 6, the whole number there. So, I have got minus b. Well, I've got b is equal to minus 3. So actually I've got minus 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared. Minus 3 squared is minus 3 times minus 3, which makes a positive 9. Minus 4, lots of a times c, so 2 times minus 6. Okay, and we're dividing by 2a. A is 2 here, so we're dividing by 4. And this whole thing, we said that x equals all of this. So I've got x equals minus 3. When 2 minuses like this are next to each other here, is the same as a positive 3. So I'm going to write this as 3 plus or minus the square root of, well, I've got, in this bit here, I have 2 times minus 6, which is minus 12. I'm then going to multiply minus 12 by minus 4. A minus times a minus makes a positive. So minus 12 times minus 4 makes a positive number. 12 times 4 is going to be 48. So I've got 9 plus 48 there, okay, over 4. 9 plus 48 is going to be 57, so it's 3 plus or minus the square root of 57 over 4. So one of my solutions will be 3 plus square root of 57 over 4. One's going to be using the minus. Let's do the plus first. 3 plus the square root of 57 divided by 4, and that means that x is equal to 2.64, and that's to 2 decimal places, like my question says. And one of them I'm going to be using the minus, so 3 minus the square root of 57, and I'm dividing by 4, which is x is equal to minus 1.14 to 2 decimal places.